Okay, it's Wednesday evening. Wednesday evening, everyone, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, United States of America. And I hope you're all here. Dave from Florida is here. And I've tried to fix the live chat so that you don't have to wait 2 minutes. I hope it works, what I did. Give it a shot, Dave, and see if you have to wait 2 minutes. Okay. It's Wednesday evening, February 25th, 2026. And I hope you don't have to wait 2 minutes for the live chat. No, I don't think he had to wait. Dave typed in 2 things so far. And I don't think it's been 2 minutes. No, it works. Okay. I know what to do from now on. I'll just leave the live chat the way it is. There's a series of things you have to do to set up live chat. It takes about 10 minutes to set it up. And one of them is, this is for streaming a video on YouTube. I know what to do now, so. Okay, Steve Carlin says, thanks for the call. Well, you're very welcome, Steve. Nice talking with you. And I'm sure Dave will agree with us. Things have certainly changed from when we first met back in the early 1970s. Those were the good old days for sure. Just think, back in the early 1970s when we first met, no computers, no YouTube, no Facebook, no cell phones. Can you believe it? And Dave says, yeah, now I am old. Yeah, time does do something to us, Dave. We can't stop the clock, that's for sure. Time does take its toll on everyone. Yep. Guess what I got tonight? You're going to love this one. Yep, Steve Carlin says time marches on. This is a red velvet cookie with white vanilla chips. A red velvet cookie with white vanilla chips. Yum, yum, yum. You got that right, Steve Carlin. Yes, along with my coffee. Got to have coffee to wash it down, light and sweet. Oh, boy. Dave in Florida has oatmeal raisin cookies. Those sound good. Oatmeal raisin. Yum, yum, yum. Hey, Steve Carlin, did you hear anything about our good friend Walt Pinto? I heard Walt Pinto is no longer with us. He passed away. Just wondering if you heard anything about that, Steve Carlin. Walt Pinto, our good friend from the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Yeah, that's what I just said. Didn't he pass away? I guess I was right then. He did die. I forgot how I found out, but I was doing a search on Connecticut School of Broadcasting or something like that. Or I did a search on Walt Pinto, and it came up. And Steve Carlin says, I believe he did pass away recently. Yes. I don't know the date and the time. I didn't quite get all the information. But to our good friend Walt Pinto from the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, rest in peace. God bless his family and his friends, all the former students from the Connecticut School of Broadcasting in Hartford and Farmington. It was Hartford, Connecticut when Steve Carlin and I went there. 750 Main Street, downtown Hartford, Connecticut. Then they expanded and moved the school to Farmington, I believe. Okay, we got information on Walt Pinto. Thank you very much, Steve. Walter Clement Pinto, 86, of Cobalt, Connecticut, died on Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. Okay, that's not too long ago. I guess he looked it up on the internet. Thank you very much, Steve Carlin, for doing that. Walter Clement Pinto, 86 years old, of Cobalt, Connecticut. November 13th, 2024. As far as I know, Dick Robinson is still with us. I haven't heard anything on Dick Robinson. But like I said, I was just playing around on the internet, bored out of my mind. I had nothing better to do. And the name Walt Pinto happened to come up, and it said obituary. And I said, what? Obituary. Oh, yeah, you're quite welcome. Also, Steve Carlin. He said that he hears that Dick Robinson is in his 80s. So he was very similar to the age of Walt Pinto. I'm sure if Dick Robinson dies, we'll hear about it. It'll be in all the newspapers. That's for sure. He was a big disc jockey. Started at WDRC AM, I believe. I believe that's where he got his start, Steve Carlin. WDRC AM 1360, is it? AM radio. Oh, Steve Carlin says that Dick Robinson's son is now running the school. Okay. Yep. I remember what you told me about Walt Pinto. God rest his soul in peace. You used to go there with audition tapes, and he said, "You're not quite there. A little bit more, and you'll have it." And every time you showed up with an audition tape, it was the same thing. Not quite there. You're almost there. Little bit more, and you'll have it. And I guess you never had the little bit more. And yeah, Steve Carlin says, "Oh my God, the same here. Also, not quite there." Yeah, I know. We paid all that money to go to broadcasting school for them to tell us that we're not quite there. Not quite there. You're almost there. Try it again. Well, I kept trying and trying and trying. And then one day the secretary says to me, "Don't go into the studio. Mr. Robinson wants to speak to you in his office." I said, "Wow, Dick Robinson wants to speak to me in his office?" I couldn't believe it. I said, "Geez, what does he want to talk to me for?" So instead of going in the studio, I went into Dick Robinson's office. You know what he told me? He says, "Mr. Coss, you've been coming up here every single Saturday." He says, "If you continue to do this, we're going to send you another bill for going to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting a second time." I said, "What?" "But there's lifetime use of the studio." He said, "Yeah, there is lifetime use of the studio, but not that much." He said, "You can use it, but not that much. Just like Walt Pinto, you're not quite there. Dick Robinson was not that much. You can use the studio, but not that much." That's right. They gave us a notice, Steve Carlin, that it's lifetime use of the studio. We should be able to go to Farmington, Connecticut, to Dick Robinson's son, and tell him we want to use the studio, and he should let us in there. Yeah, we paid hundreds of dollars to go there. And Steve Carlin says now it's tens of thousands of dollars. Wow. Just like I said, times have changed. Isn't that right, Crazy Dave? It's not like it was back in the early 1970s. And that's the time period that Steve and I are talking about. The early 1970s, when we used to go up to Hartford every Saturday for the high school student edition of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Wow. It's been a long time, Steve Carlin, that's for sure. He said, "Just think, it's been about 50 years now." Yeah. Wow. So if Dick Robinson and Walt Pinto were in their 80s, 50 years, they were 30 something back then. Wow. They were in their 30s when we were there running the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. They were in their 30s. 30 and 50 is 80. And you said Dick Robinson is in his 80s and Walt Pinto was 80, 6, I believe is what you said. Let's see, 86 years old, yeah. Walter Clement Pinto, November 13th, 2024. God rest his soul in peace. Walt Pinto was not quite there, and Dick Robinson was not that much. You can use the studio lifetime, but not that much. If you use it that much, we're going to send you another bill in the mail. Isn't that nice? Yeah, Dave from Florida says you got that right. You know what? I'm here chatting away, and I can't forget my good friend on Fun Tower Radio, Rock and Ron Sedaly, the hottest hits. funtowerradio.com, FUNTOWER RADIO, all one word, funtowerradio.com, FUNTOWERRADIO.com, the hottest hits with Rock and Ron Sedaly. And check out Michelle Russo and Love Letters. And you'll be glad you did. Check it out. I got to do that because Rock and Ron Sedaly is spreading the word about me, and I have to spread the word about him. You know, Steve Carlin, actually, Rock and Ron Sedaly made out better. He's got his own radio station now. How can you beat that? I know it's terrible what they did at WDRC. They did it to a lot of people there. But it all worked out for the better, and it worked out for the good. And now he's doing much better. He's got his own radio station. He's very, very successful. He does 2 or 3 programs a week, and nobody can tell him what to do because he is the owner, operator, the chief manager, the CEO, the president of Fun Tower Radio. Oh. We got a new check-in here to live chat. Carol from the Philippines says, wow, what a nice YouTube you have tonight. I wish all your fans will follow you and continually come in loud and clear. Loud and clear in the Philippines. That's good. Yeah, that's Carol from the Philippines, Steve. She just typed in that comment. So, hello, Florida. Crazy Dave in Florida. Steve and Ethan in Massachusetts, the Springfield, Agawam, Massachusetts area. And Carol from the Philippines, who helps quite a bit with the program. Dave says I'm worldwide. I certainly hope so. Because what Carol does is she posts it on her page in the Philippines. She posts the program on her Facebook page in the Philippines. So we do have a lot of Filipino viewers that tune into the program each and every week. And Steve says hello to Carol. I got to have another cup of coffee. Light and sweet. You know what? I got something else here too. I don't want to make you people hungry, but I got a vanilla cupcake with frosting. Carol says, I post Tom also on my Facebook page. Yes, you do. And I'm making Steve Carlin and Ethan Carlin hungry. I'm going to have one of these cupcakes right now. So good. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, boy. Where's Debbie and Bill from Plainville, Connecticut tonight? They're not on here. Probably have something else to do. We'll give a shout out to Debbie and Bill in Plainville, Connecticut. Yeah, we'll get together, Steve Carlin, when the weather gets better. Can't be that far off because March is right around the corner. It's almost March. So good. Dave says, be right back. Yeah, that's for sure, Steve Carlin. We'll get together and we'll go out to eat again. I'm not too far from Imperial on the Berlin Turnpike. I'm closer than I was before. I got to have some coffee to wash that down. My throat is all filled with white frosting from the cupcake. That's better. Light and sweet. Anyone out there, if you want to email me, more than welcome to do it. My email address is thomasacoss@gmail.com. That's THOMASACOSS, all one word, at gmail.com. thomasacoss@gmail.com, just like so many people did. like my cousin Donna in Georgia, who I haven't heard from for a while. I'll give a shout out to Donna and her family in Georgia. Haven't heard from you for a while. Well, it's getting to be about that time. Going to wrap it up pretty soon here. But once again, I like to remind everybody Rock and Ron's the Daily, the hottest hits, funtowerradio.com. FUNTOWERRADIO. Fun Tower Radio, all one word, .com, the hottest hits. Check it out with Rock and Ron's the Daily, formerly of WDRC Radio out of Hartford, Connecticut. Oh, Stefan's here. Okay, welcome, Stefan. Stefan Schwartz from Pennsylvania. Glad you could make it. We're almost ready to sign off the show, but we'll stay on a couple of minutes longer for you. So check out funtowerradio.com on the internet. And Dave from Florida says he will check it out for sure, for sure. Check it out. Check out Rock and Ron's the Daily. I think he does 2 or 3 shows a week. And check out Michelle Russo and Love Letters. I think she's on twice a week. She does 2 2-hour shows on Fun Tower Radio. So check that out. Michelle Russo and Love Letters on Fun Tower Radio. And Rock and Ron's the Daily, funtowerradio.com. Okay, I'm glad we finally got the live chat working the proper way where you don't have to wait 2 minutes. I'm sorry about that, Dave. I'm not quite familiar with all this technical information you have to go through here on YouTube. There's a lot to do to set this program up. I got to have at least a half hour before I go on to set up everything with YouTube. You got to put in the name of the program, the date, the time. Is it made for children? Is it not made for children? Dave said it's all good. I'm glad it works now. I'm glad too. You don't have to wait. You can just type right in live chat and no waiting. So I think I know what to do from now on. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up right now. It's about that time. Everyone, Steve Carlin says, I'm sounding and looking great. Okay, well, thank you very much for the report, Steve Carlin, that we're coming through loud and clear. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. I'll be back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. in the evening. As far as I know, this looks like a good time. Everybody's here at this time. And we even made it all the way to the Philippines. Dave from Florida says, see you then. Take care. Have a nice week. Steve Carlin and Ethan Carlin, have a good night. Talk to you soon. And Carol from the Philippines says, I think the Wi-Fi of Steve is slow. I'm not sure that was Steve. That was Stefan Schwartz. Stefan Schwartz. Carol says that happens when the Wi-Fi is slow. If you have slow Wi-Fi, you don't have a good signal. That's the problem you have. So you probably got a poor Wi-Fi signal. Thank you very much for that information, Carol from the Philippines. Steve said we're coming in loud and clear. Carol says, have a good night, everyone. Keep safe, sleep good, and God bless you all. Yep, great signal here, says Steve Carlin. So, Stefan Schwartz in Pennsylvania, if you're having that problem, it's probably because of a poor Wi-Fi signal. Sometimes the weather does that. The weather will affect the Wi-Fi signal. Okay, Stefan Schwartz says, have a good night. See you all next week. 8 p.m., same time, same place. YouTube. Again, don't forget to check out Rock and Ron Sedaly on funtowerradio.com and Michelle Russo with Love Letters, also on funtowerradio.com. Okay, have a good night. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. That time seems to be working out well so far. We got a nice group here. Everybody showed up except Bill and Debbie. Bill and Debbie in Plainville, Connecticut did not show up tonight. They probably had something else to do. All right, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the week and have a nice weekend. From yours truly, Talking with Tom, with your host, Tom Coss, here on YouTube.